3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and it is story time live. Hope you're all having a good evening. It's Thursday night. That wasn't supposed to happen. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm having a good evening. I didn't have much work to do today, which kind of sucks because I get paid based on the quantity of work, not the amount of, like, you know what I mean. So it's a good thing I had an easy day, but I also had a light, didn't get paid day type thing, you know. Whatever. I don't know why I try to talk. I can't talk. Melissa, he's first. What a shocker. Good to see you, Melissa. Marania is second. And she says, next woman. Nice. Likes. Good to see you guys. And Tehillim is here. She says, good to see you all. Eric Breen is in the house. How about you never say yabba dabba doo, Eric? How come? You should throw the one our way sometime. We kid. We make fun of Eric because we love him. Let's see. Lord is here. He says hello. He's not making fun of me yet. That's good. He says, I'm not feeling myself today. Well, that explains things. That explains things. Oh, I just spilled my beer. Try not to do that. Ash on spilling beer live. Oh, boy. Eric, come on over here and clean this beer up. I'm just kidding. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. I should be more prepared. Can't believe that's a waste of good beer. Waste of good beer. I guess I'll clean that up later. No America Chavez again, says Tehillim. Yep, we got to save those for special occasions. There's only 12 America Chavezes, right? You have to ration them out. If I just blow through them, they'll be gone. But so every once in a while, we can do an American Chavez on a special time if you're really good. Let's see. Laura says, so someone else torment Ash today in my place. All right. I'm sure someone will jump right on that. It's not like they need to do it in your place. Maybe if we tell Ash that's what we want for Christmas, he'll read issue 7 to us next week. You know, that's a good point. What day does Christmas fall on? 25th is a Friday. Well, Christmas Eve is a Thursday. I don't know. Maybe should I do a Christmas Eve stream? Maybe read some Christmas Eve comics. We'll have to think about that. Someone needs to suggest some Christmas Eve stuff. Let's get back here. Back to my one monitor setup. Hey, Jimmy, says Marania. What were you doing out there in the corner? Oh, Jimmy's in the house. Hey, Jimmy. Dragon Ball's in the house. He says Next Men like Omega Men. No, Next Men is not. Next Men is like Harbinger, if you know what Harbinger is. From Valiant Comics. They're a little bit like X-Men, but they're not mutants. They're created by the government and then hunted by the government. Ronnie says, I did a data entry back in the day, so I get paid for the amount you do, not for the hours worked. Oh, that would suck. I get paid data entry by the amount you do. Oh, that'd be stressful. Eric says, I refuse to yabba dabba do what you tell me to do. That's funny. Lord says, I'm feeling myself again, not 100%. America Chavez makes me want to gouge my eyes out. It's torture, says Melissa. All right, time to get out of America Chavez. No, I'm just kidding. America Chavez is fun. It's good times, Melissa. You need to learn to laugh at things. Sometimes mockery is good entertainment. Speaking of mockery and good entertainment, did you guys catch that today was Disney Investor Day? Disney pulled out all the stops announcing millions of new things that they're doing so they can get investors to spend money on them. Um, it's holy crap, did they announce a shit ton of stuff. Let's see if I can get a screen going. So one of the things they announced was their Marvel, which is wanted to find a better image on this, but look at all the stuff. This is not even the full. I'm gonna find a better one. I saw it on Twitter and then I lost it. I don't understand what Twitter does, this thing where it'll refresh the page on you, and I was sitting on it and I didn't get to copy the image, and of course there's nothing here in Google. Maybe if I do this, Marvel. I have search skills. Yeah, this is one of them. Here we go. So Marvel, this is the Marvel announcements. And this isn't even all of them. I can already see some of these are missing. So this is what's pissing me off, is because I keep finding these ones and they don't have everything. So we got WandaVision, Falcon the Winter Soldier we already knew about, Loki. We got a What If show coming about. I think it's a little too early to be doing What If. But it's an animated series. We got Miss Marvel we knew about. Hawkeye we knew about. It's not real Hawkeye. It's Kate Bishop Hawkeye, which you can tell by the stupid Matt Fraction title there. We got She-Hulk, not regular Hulk. The question is, will they make her look like regular Hulk? We got Moon Knight. These are all Disney Plus shows. All of these. Can you believe this? Disney is going to become the Marvel. It should be called Marvel Plus. We got Secret Invasion, starring Samuel Jackson as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as the Skrull Talos, who we first met in Captain Marvel. The crossover comic event series will see a faction of shape-shifting Skrulls who have been infiltrating Earth for years. Ooh, exciting. Now here's some of the newer ones I wasn't aware of. We got Ironheart. The second of the newly announced series coming out of Disney Plus stars Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, a genius inventor who creates the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man. You mean it's not more advanced? Wow, that's surprising. Then we get Armor Wars. We're going to get more armor stuff. Based on the classic Marvel comic series, Armor Wars will star John Cheadle as James Rhodes, aka War Machine, who must face what happens to Tony Stark's when Tony Stark's tech skills fall into the wrong hands. So we're going to get an Armor Wars without an Iron Man. That should be exciting. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Now, I have to admit, this is kind of funny. This is based on at least conceptually, it's based off the Star Wars Holiday Special. And well, the Star Wars Holiday Special is funny in an ironic way. It's not supposed to be funny, but it's so terrible it's funny. So I'm really curious to see. This is written and directed by James Gunn. I'm really curious to see if he pulls off and makes it, kind of gives it that charm of the Star Wars Holiday Special, like if it's cheesy and stuff, like intentionally. We'll see. I think this could be a really clever idea, or it could be a really stupid, abysmal failure. Let me get I Am Groot. Everyone's favorite baby tree will get his own series of original shorts on Disney Plus. Great. I can't wait for the I Am Baby Yoda miniseries, so we can have that too. Black Widow, of course, is getting her own. We knew about this. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I can't get excited about this. I'm sorry. Like, I saw the casting and stuff for this. They'd released all the, I was like, okay, there's some people I recognize here, but do I really think Marvel's going to make a better Kung Fu movie than what China produces? Not even close. No way. No way. Who's directing this? Did they even say? Like, I would have put this in the hands of a Chinese company, like almost like third party, just outsource it. I don't know. We'll see. Then we got Eternals. We knew about that. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, this has got some potential. This is one of the few things I'm excited. Now, these, I believe, are the non... Well, I guess... I don't know which ones are Disney+. We don't know with COVID. Thor, Love and Thunder. Everyone should be excited about this. I know my boy Jimmy is really excited. They just announced the casting of Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher, who Jimmy likes even better than Doctor Doom because he's crazy. But he should be excited because we're going to get Gore the God Butcher and Jane Foster together in one movie. And maybe we'll get to see Jane Foster beat Gore in the movie version. Won't that be amazing? Get Black Panther 2. No graphic for whatever reason. Seems kind of weird to me. Written and directed by Ryan Coogler. That's good. He's a talent. Let's see. To honor Chadwick Boseman's legacy, T'Challa Black Panther will not be recast. Instead, the new film will explore the world of Wakanda and the characters introduced in the first film. What? So you're gonna have a Black Panther movie without Black Panther? What? What? Black Panther will not be recast. Instead, the new film will explore the world of Wakanda. Why don't you just call it Wakanda? The movie. Wakanda. Just call it Wakanda. You could do that. Why is it Black Panther 2? Blade is being rebooted. I don't know why there's not a graphic for this. They got Mahershala Ali, that's a hard name for me to pronounce, is in the title role. I like Mahershala Ali. He's been around for a long time, and he's been one of these underrated actors. I really liked him in, he was in this baseball movie. I forget the name of it. Was with during the Babe Ruth era. He was really good. But he was also in that TV show, The 4400. Which is relevant because it's a superhero show. A lot of people haven't seen this show. I urge you, even though the show got canceled before it ever could finish, so you don't get the resolution of the show, there's still 4 seasons, and it's really good. If you can find it somewhere, check it out. I used to own it. I'd love to own it again. It's a really good show. You won't get a resolution out of it, but you'll get 4 good seasons, which is more than you got of Heroes. Let's see. Captain Marvel 2. This is very interesting. It says Brie Larson stars as Carol Danvers, so apparently the rumor of her getting fired is not true. Which, of course, can't believe they're going to get rid of Brie Larson. Not if you're doing a Captain Marvel. That doesn't make any sense. As much as haters would like to see her get canceled. I'm not a fan of Brie Larson, but I don't want necessarily her to be recast. I mean, she really wasn't the problem of that movie. I mean, she was a problem. She was running around on social media, pissing everyone off. She is a problem. But it wasn't like she solely made that movie bad. It wasn't like everything was firing on all cylinders and it was like, Brie Larson ruined it. That movie was a train wreck no matter who was going to play the Brie Larson. That script, no one was saving that. That movie didn't matter who you put in there. Ant-Man and the Wasp. So we're getting a 3rd Ant-Man movie. Quantumania. Directed by Peyton Reed. I believe he's writing it too. So the first 2 movies were fun. This should be a good 3rd fun follow-up, hopefully. We'll see how they do. Guardian Galaxy 3. Slated for 2023 theatrical release. We'll see if that happens. We'll still be in COVID in 2023. And then this is the big boy right here. Fantastic Four. Boom. So, reboot of the iconic Marvel family of superheroes is now in development with John Watts on board to direct. John Watts is not a name that I recognize. I don't know if anyone else knows who that is. And so I'm worried if I don't recognize the name. Let's see here. Results for John Watts. There's multiple John Watts. It's probably the first. What? No, it's probably this. Nope. John J.P. Watts? I don't see him listed. Director. War Below, Lost Emperor. So that's not. Is it this guy? John Watts. Which John Watts is it? Well, this. I don't know. He's got 4 credits. He's done some TV shows. But I don't know if that's him. Usually they would have. Why would you not? Man, that's like a surprising. So this guy's only an actor, so it's not him. This guy's called J.P. Watts. He only has 2, so it's one of 2 guys that don't have any real credits for anything. Did it say with John Watts? Who knows? So some no-name guy is being given Fantastic Four. Fan-freaking-tastic. But anyways, that's the announcements. A lot of stuff. I mean, that's a lot of stuff. Basically, this is the next 2 years of Disney. That's a lot of stuff for just 2 years of Disney. So, yeesh. Let's scroll up. Where was I? Let's see. Lord says, "Give me Daredevil." Sorry, no Daredevil for you. Eric says, "The Miss Marvel cast is not okay, and we need to talk about it." Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about Miss Marvel. Apparently, you can't have non-Muslims playing Muslim characters. Who knew? I wonder if that applies now to Christians. Can we have... Because then most of Hollywood would be out of job playing any sort of Christian, right? Am I right? Let's see. Who needs Iron Man when you can have Ironheart, says Eric Breen. That's what I'm saying. Well, Iron Man's dead now. See, this is the thing. We're going to get Ironheart, but we're not going to get the Ironheart from the comic books because Ironheart is all about stealing Tony Stark's... Well, I guess she could still steal his technology. But the MCU is all effed up because they killed Iron Man. And we're not getting introduced to Ironheart until after Iron Man's dead. But I guess Ironheart kind of did come around when Tony Stark was dead. Are we going to get an AI Tony Stark? Oh, man. Aren't we in for a treat? Disney Plus has found a way to tick me off twice over. Good going. Comic Boom is in the house. What is up, Comic Boom? If you want to see a real YouTuber and not this amateur named Ash, go over and check out Comic Boom. He does some really fun stuff. He says maybe they will decorate Groot as a Christmas tree. That would be fun. I don't know if you're talking about the Groot show or if you're talking about the holiday special. But I really hope the holiday special. I hope, and James Gunn is a talented guy. I really hope that he brings the charm that the Star Wars one was and just cheeses it up. Like intentionally. It could be a lot of fun. Computer Robots is in the house. He says, "Hey Ash and everyone, today is officially my birthday." Right on, Computer Robots. So is today the day that you take over the world and turn us all into slaves to our robot masters? Are you going to give us a warning first? I don't know. Well, happy birthday regardless. Ironheart's having armor better than Iron Man's and Armor Wars without Tony Stark. And we'll see how they go. This will be interesting. This will be the first time that Riri Williams will be written by a real writer. So maybe we'll get something good. That'll be a shocker. Eric says, "No Black Panther. Shuri is canceled. Killmonger's dead. Yeah, this will be good." No, it's going to be the world of Wakanda, Eric, where we just get to go around and explore the culture of this African paradise. That pitch line was terrible. I gotta tell you. It's the world of Wakanda. Melissa says, "Fun fact, Shang-Chi's dad is the legendary pulp villain Dr. Fu Manchu." Let's see. The only problem with Captain Marvel was not enough Brie Larson. I could not agree more. We needed way more Brie Larson. Mark Velasco is in the house. It's not a name I'm terribly familiar. I can't remember I've seen that name before. So if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome anyway. We just welcome everyone. He says, John Watts did Spider-Man Far From Home. Oh, it's Jon. Is that why I'm like breening it up in here? Thank you. Thank you. I like when you guys in the audience educate me. Look, there's another John Watts. How many of these ones without the H? Jesus. That's a common name. There we go. All right. So here's some director's credits. Oh, and he's doing Spider-Man 3. So Far From Home, Spider-Man 3, and Fantastic Four. Far From Home wasn't that great of a movie. We'll see how Spider-Man... Weird. What else did he do? Cop Car. Clown. Beverly... He's done nothing. Oh, he did some Onion News Network stuff. What the hell? Jeez, he's got a lot of credits. This must... like. I like when IMDb has all these credits, but they're like shorts and stuff. They're not actual. So, Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. One moment, please. I have a dog barking incident. Man, dog barking incident. I knocked my mic over because I tried to shut her up live on the air. And I knocked my beer again. I'm having a night. Holy cow. What are you guys drinking, by the way? I was drinking a beer. I got like half of it now. What a mess. Thank God I got some hardwood floors. So, otherwise, I'd have to put things on pause. Hopefully she's... I don't know what tripped her off. She just, you know, dogs, man. Something comes up and they're just raw. Where was I on the chat? Sorry for this is the professionalism you get on Ash on Comics on a live stream. Let's see. Look up Guardians of the Galaxy 3 on IMDb, Ash. It should give the tentative cast and crew. Okay, is there something special that I'm supposed to see here? Which TV episode? What? I don't see a Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Let's look up James Gunn. It should be listed under him. There it is. Pre-production. So, oh, Dan Abnett got a writing credit. How interesting. I wonder if that just means that they're basing it on one of his comic stories. That's probably what it means. It looks like the same cast that we're used to. I don't know what I'm looking for. It's don't know what I'm looking for, Marania. Let's see. Kay is in the house. He says, I'm Muslim and I don't like Miss Marvel. I don't think any Muslims like Miss Marvel. She doesn't seem to follow Islam. she kind of violates a lot of the tenets. And Marvel there's no way that Marvel is going to write a comic that follows it's just stupid. They should just not even try to pander. This is what happens when you try to pander to anything. Not as Muslims. Just don't pander. Just make characters. Good. You're just going to end up pissing off someone. She's a dumb character. There's just Sana Amunet interjecting herself into comics. Like, look at me. They made a character based on me. Well, yeah, because you're a spoiled rich girl. Let's see. How will we be able to enjoy the wonders of Wakanda when we get turned away at the border? Well, Eric, if you were worthy, you wouldn't get turned away at the border. Mark says, thanks, Ash. You're welcome. Good evening, Dominic and Kay from the East. Welcome, Dominic. Kind of missed you there, but don't forget Wanda was isolationist before T'Challa opened it up to the world. Will they go back to being isolationist? Eric says, after the dog sobers up from all the beer on the floor. That's why I needed to have her lick it up so she'll calm down. Lord says, good doggy, rip Ash to pieces. You bastard. Ronnie's having chocolate coffee. That's mocha for the rest of the world, in case you guys aren't sure what that is. Second mug. I'm making up for not having any on Wednesday. You got a brownie to go with that? A brownie would go really good with that chocolate coffee, I bet. Ronnie says, I suggested looking Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because you're having a hard time finding John Watts. But is John Watts isn't on Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I'm confused. Comic Boom says, I am pouring rum chata in my coffee. Good stuff. Oh, I don't think I've ever had rum chata. I rarely put any alcohol in my coffee, but when I do, it's pretty much exclusively Kahlua. I'm a Kahlua coffee guy. Let's see. Dominic says, I was prepared for my economics of developing countries final thanks to a study group for my classmates and I formed a month and a half ago. As for my short animation final, it's turning out well so far. Well, good. Glad to know things are going well. Study hard. Stay in school. Is that how they're supposed to say it? I'm sure you're going to do fine. Kamala Khan has potential, but it's being wasted on poor storytelling and characterization, says Dominic. No, I don't think she has potential. I think she's a terrible character. Eric says, Sana Amunat's next YA novel, I Am Kamala. Oh, and Kay is having green tea. Green tea is great. Green tea is good for you. Man. And it's really good. I like green tea cold. It's like one of the most refreshing things you can have cold. The Japanese, man, they say you can get some Japanese green tea. I love it. But of course, I'm more of a cold drinker anyway. I rarely drink hot drinks. It's got to be really cold for me to do it. All right. That's enough of that. Melissa says, gone. One of the greatest lines in movie cinema history. Also the best Star Trek movie ever made. Probably ever will be made. Dominic says, I don't drink alcohol, but I do drink tea, hot chocolate, juice, ginger beer, and San Pellegrino. Oh, I do like San Pellegrino. I like all those things. But when it comes to sparkling water, San Pellegrino. Or mineral water, or however you say it. San Pellegrino also has these really good fruit, they're like fruit infused or whatever flavored mineral waters that are kind of hard to find. You can get them in 6-packs. They're, oh man, they have a blood orange one. Delicious. Let's see. Kay says, I'm cold here and I'm only going to drink hot drinks. You're cold? Aren't you out in the Middle East somewhere and it's cold? That's crazy. Maybe after this live stream, I'll bake a pan or two of brownie cakes. Bake a pan or two of brownies cake style. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure what the difference of cake style is with other styles. I just know brownies is brownies. As long as they're thick and heavy, that's all I care about. And no walnuts. Tonight, we're reading a couple of comics. We're coming up to the end. We're going to be doing one of my favorites, a classic from the early 90s. John Byrne's Next Men. If you have never heard of Next Men or had the opportunity to read it, you are, well, in luck, so to speak, because this is issue 6. It's better if you start at the beginning. John Byrne's Next Men isn't just an independent comic that was kind of based on some of his ideas and things that he was doing with X-Men at the time and some of the things he wanted to explore. But I kind of credit X-Men for being one of the first comics of this type to feature the long ongoing saga storytelling. Now, Chris Claremont kind of did this with X-Men. It was kind of his forte, where people are like, wow. But even Chris Claremont just really told the old serialized comic book kind of format, but he just left lots of subplots open. So it felt like a continuous story. But really, he was still doing a lot of the old school, like, you know, you'd wrap up your story at the end, or you might just do a couple of issues arc. But it wasn't like that back in the 80s and the early 90s. Comics, pretty much, you bought an issue, you got a story, or you got the first half of a story, usually was wrapped up by the next issue. If they were going to tell a longer formatted story that might, say, like be a 6-issue arc, oftentimes they would do that more in miniseries. Miniseries were, they existed to test run comics primarily. Back in those days, Marvel didn't just launch a comic like, you know, like today they're just like, oh, the Unstoppable Wasp, it was canceled yesterday, but we'll launch it again. I'm sure it'll be fine. You know, they just constantly greenlight everything under the sun. Back in those days, they didn't. I mean, look at Wolverine as one of the primary examples. There was hardly a hotter character in Marvel Comics in the 80s than Wolverine. Now, in the early 80s, he wasn't quite as big, but still, he was a huge, popular character. And if anyone could get a single series, it would have been a Wolverine. But even him, they launched as a miniseries. It wasn't until several years later that they finally gave him his own ongoing series. But my point is, they would do things like, sometimes they would do like event books. Like I was thinking of X-Men versus the Avengers and so forth. Whatever the case, writing for the trade, writing for the omnibus didn't really exist back then. John Byrne, I don't know if he's the first to do it, but he's the first to come across my radar and write this sort of style. John Byrne's X-Men would fit very well today in an Image style of comic. I could totally see X-Men as an Image, and you know the way the Image books work. They're almost like manga, right? They have a start, here's your issue, and they run, who knows, however many issues, you know. Birthright is an example of a comic that I read, that I love. Follows this type of idea. It's just a singular story that runs until it's over. It's going to end at issue 50. X-Men also had its own, I don't remember how many issues X-Men did run. I think it was like 30 something maybe. Anyways, it's before its time. John Byrne constantly influencing and doing things before anyone else. So I thought I would just say a little ramble. Did that bore you? The next book we're going to do is Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man. I just have the trade here. So this is the first volume by Chip Zdarsky that was in 2017. And this is before Chip Zdarsky was a good writer. This was him learning how to swim, and boy was he not good at it. So, but it's kind of fun because it's one of those books that's so bad and cheesy that you're just like, oh, you can have fun with it. But man, is it try hard. Chip Zdarsky was like way overcompensating to try to make a funny Spider-Man book. And the one thing I've learned about Chip, he's not a funny guy. And where he's excelling is in Daredevil. Where he excelled also was in Spider-Man Life Story, where he focused on the drama and the human condition. Chip Zdarsky can pull your heartstrings, but when he tries to make you laugh, it's like that guy who's just not good at telling jokes, but they really try hard. So they're going to read those two tonight. And we'll get on with the John Byrne here in just a second. I'm going to check the chat. See if Ronnie is baking me some brownies. Let's see. Ronnie says, if I'm having mineral water, I'll have lemon, orange, or berry Perrier. Perrier. Blech. Gotta have some. Ronnie, you need to try San Pellegrino. That's the good stuff. And if you like the flavor in the water, I'm telling you, San Pellegrino makes these really good. These San Pellegrino. Oh, here's the blood orange one I like. They come in cans like this. I don't know what they're. They don't really have a name, but there's all sorts of different flavors. Here's a good. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a good image. Can I blow it up? Yeah, look at these. So I do like the blood orange. I haven't tried all of these. Oh, is that pomegranate? But these, if you can find these in your stores, these are really good. Or if you just like plain, they just, they make plain mineral water too. It comes in green bottles, so it looks just like Perrier. But it's not French. It's Italian. And it comes from a special, I guess, mineral wells in Italy. So there's a certain aspect of the water. I really like it. Yeah, here's what it looks like, the green bottles. If you like Perrier, you're going to like Pellegrino. They're pretty close to each other. But those fruit-flavored ones, not these, whatever these are, I don't know. The normal size cans with the fruit on them. Try those. They're good. Take my word on it. I won't steer you wrong. Unless it's comics. And then I really won't steer you wrong. Am I right? Let's close all these darn windows. Let's go full screen. Oh, why am I on YouTube music? Let's go to Nextmen. Let's get the show on the road. Ronnie says, ugh, no canned beverages for me. The tinny aftertaste is ick. There's no tinny aftertaste. I'm telling you. I'm not steering you wrong. Ay. I think they actually coat their cans anyway. But anyways, you also saw they have the bottles. Get them. Jeez, Marania, don't be snooty. I'm the one who has my pinky out, remember? Dominic says pomegranate is good, Ash. Yeah, it's my second favorite fruit flavor behind pineapple. Pineapple's my favorite fruit, in case you wanted to know. Pomegranate could be my favorite fruit, but damn, are they freaking hard to eat. They're super hard to eat. So much effort for so little. Well, I'm not so little reward, but the effort to reward ratio is off. And you have to be super careful because, man, pomegranate will stain like no tomorrow. All right, let's get on with the first book, Nextmen, and then see if you guys have something to say. This is going to be the final issue, I believe, of the run. Eric says, Nextmen? More like next week, am I right? You bastard. You bastard. History. Stiffens. I started this off terrible. Take 2. History, Stephen said, is a nightmare from which I am trying to awake. James Boyce Ulysses, 1922. What in the hell was that? Dominoes. Felt like an earthquake, but there's no aftershock. No, it was more like an explosion, a big one. Mueller, did you get anything? How could I miss it? A good 6 or 7 on the Richter scale, centered about 30 miles south of us. 30 miles? What was it, an A-bomb? I'll bet it was. Antarctica's supposed to be a nuclear-free zone. But I wouldn't put it past the goddamn army. All right, belay that, Jorgensen. You and Carter and McGee go check it out. Klein, you can fly him to the epicenter. We'll go, Tyler. It should be just over that ridge. Hit the lights. Holy shit. I don't believe it. Those can't be bodies. Must be nearly 100 of them. Say again, Jorgensen. Your signal is breaking up. What have you found? 78 bodies, Tyler. Badly burned, most of them. But that's not all. You really want this on an open channel? Yes, what is it? They're not human, Tyler. They can't be. I've never seen human limbs, human bodies distorted like this. Blast effect, do you think? Tyler, this is McGee. There's no way this could be blast damage. I saw enough of that during the D-Day to know. Jorgensen, McGee, over here. I've got a live one. Hey, easy, fella. Take... Carter! More. Need more life force. Kick. Ah! Oh, it's gruesome. Keep back! Keep away from me! Called you Jorgensen. First name. What is your first name? Fleming. My name is Fleming Jorgensen. Then it worked. The impossible gamble. But the year. What year is this? Year? It's 1955, but... Then it is perfect. Everything is perfect. Ah, ha, 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 ha. While on a lighter note, well-known biologist Dr. Fleming Jorgensen was released today from Walter Reed Hospital. Dr. Jorgensen, you may recall, was there for 6 weeks of treatment and recuperation, following his heroic ordeal in the Antarctic wastes. Authorities are still unable to shed any light on just what it was that caused the explosion that destroyed the scientific research station and killed Jorgensen's 9 fellow scientists. But Dr. Jorgensen is being flown to the private residence of longtime friend, Congressman Aldous Hilltop, in his home state of... Well, Jorgie, I stuck my neck out a long, long way for you. When do you drop the big mystery and start telling me exactly what you're cooking here? I can't, Al. Not yet. But if you'll just trust me for a few more days until we've completed this... Al, honey, when are you going to be done with this skull session? You promised to take me to dinner more than 2 hours ago. I know I did, sugar. But this is real important stuff Jorgie and me are discussing. Important to my career. Your career. Sometimes I think you care more about your silly old career than you do about me. Oh, now you just scoot along and wait a tad longer, honey. You know you don't have to worry your pretty little head about things like that. My career will always take precedence over you. Sorry, that was a great line. Just ruined the drama. Now, Jorgie, let's see what we can do about this package you need shipped stateside. Are you sure about this, Congressman? It could mean my stripes. You have nothing to worry about, Sergeant. This crate contains such material as Dr. Jorgensen was able to save from the science station. Of course, he was in such bad shape when he was rescued that he was unable to tell the Navy team where the crate was. Well, maybe. But you sure have created one hella... But you sure have created one hella... Oh, it's hellaciously. Sorry. Take 3. But you sure have created one hellaciously complicated paper trail, Congressman. This crate's been shipped by air, water, land, by Army, Navy, and Air Force. Why, shoot, sir. If I didn't know better, I'd think you were trying to make this thing hard to trace. Ha ha ha. I don't think I'd be too inclined to spend all of that effort on a box of old papers and broken test tubes, Sergeant. No, this just happens to be the most convenient way of getting the crate here. Now, if you'll be so kind as to get it loaded on a truck. Dr. Jorgensen is waiting at my home, and he's most eager to examine his prize package. Unbelievable. Aldous, careful. He's in a state of self-induced dormancy right now, but I can't be sure that will protect you. Protect? From what? Sathanas is some kind of energy vampire, Al. He feeds on the life force of others. He killed all the other men at the science station, drained them, and God help me, Al. I helped him do it. But why, Georgie? And where in the hell did a thing like this come from? Hell might be just the word, Al. His name is Sathanas. It's another name for Satan. And maybe what I've done here is make a deal with the devil, but it was worth it. Worth? Georgie, what was the deal? What did this thing offer you? Knowledge, for a start. He's obviously no scientist, but he knows things. Biology. He knows about things that the top men in my field have only recently begun to guess about. The things he was able to tell me about the structure of DNA alone. Whoa, stop. This is no time for some half-assed biology class that I'm not going to understand anyway. What I want to know, Georgie, without any wide-eyed looks and bullshit, is just what this ugly bastard has to offer me. Power. What? I offer you power, Aldous Hilltop. Power such as you have barely begun to dream. You interest me, Sathanas. Say on. Al? Al, honey, where are you? In the basement. Again? I swear I don't know what you boys find to do down here all the time. If you hadn't emptied out your wine closet right after Georgie came to stay with us 3 months ago, I'd think you were in here getting drunk. Oh my sweet Jesus. Don't be afraid, honey. He won't hurt you. In fact, Georgie assures me there's no pain at all. Wow. Dude, he just fed his wife to it? Oh my God. Your wife is quite a bit younger than you, Congressman, isn't that right? Yes. She's 19, but I fail to see what that has to do with her disappearance. Oh, it's a new wife. Because many, many years ago. Well, no, I guess this is still back in that time. Never mind. Sorry, carry on. Maybe nothing. Maybe quite a bit. Look, Mr. Hilltop, I think maybe I should let you in on something. We've managed to keep it out of the papers, but quite a few young women have turned up missing in the last 3 months. In fact, if your wife should turn out to be one of them, God forbid, she'd make an even dozen. 12? 12 young women vanished? How did you keep such a thing a secret? Well, as it happened, all but 2 of them were hookers. And hardly nobody misses hookers, but they're regular Johns, who are unlikely to report such things in the newspapers. Are you saying there's some kind of madman preying on the young woman of this county, Sheriff? It's more than that, Congressman. Tell them. Bill, tell them the whole story. Whole story? Yeah. Well, Zach here has an idea this might all be mixed in with a nasty bit of business they got going over in Creek County. See, the funny thing is, we got 12 girls known to be missing, including your lady wife. And as of yesterday, they've got 12 dead old ladies that no one seems to know. Old ladies? Yes, sir. They've been busting their humps to keep that one out of the papers, let me tell you. It got around that old ladies was turning up stark naked and stone cold dead. Sheriff, look,
I'm naturally distressed to hear all this is happening in my district. But my sole concern right now is locating my wife, and until such time as you can have a clear link between all this and her disappearance.
I understand, Congressman. I'm sorry I even brought it up. We'll treat your wife as a special, separate case. And don't you worry, sir.
We'll find her. Right as rain, too, I'll bet. Thank you, Sheriff. You do my heart good.
Where President Kennedy today announced that the much-coveted biological development station has been awarded to the home state of Congressman Aldous Hilltop, who has himself been appointed to head the special project. For more on that story and the man of the hour, here's Lyle Daniels in Washington. Thank you, Roger. Well, as you know, Congressman Hilltop has been one of the men to watch for some time now. His close personal friendship with Dr. Fleming Jorgensen, the main advocate of the Biological Research Station, of course, had all the pundits here in Washington quite convinced that once the president allotted the necessary funding, the chosen site would almost certainly be in Aldous Hilltop's home state. Hilltop is a man who has dedicated most of his life to public service, first coming to national attention 6 years ago when he began with his close association with Dr. Jorgensen. Twice married and twice widowed, Hilltop is known inside the Beltway for his quiet, conservative lifestyle, usually eschewing the rounds of Washington parties, in favor of his own down-home style of hands-on personal politics. Although he was recently linked romantically with actress Rhonda Kincaid, Congressman Hilltop said he feels he has had more than his fair share of married bliss, and has no plans to, as he puts it, besmirch the memories of my late wives by seeking anyone to replace them.
And that's why you and I must call it quits, Rhonda dear. I'm afraid you simply do not fit my image.
Screw your image, Aldous. I'm not one of your little teenagers you can awe into respectful silence. I'm a full-grown woman.
Which no one would ever debate, Rhonda. But the fact remains that, while it has ambushed or amused some of my more foolish female constituents to fantasize about the handsome congressman and the glamorous movie star, I have no further use for such charades. You have done well by me, Rhonda. If you do not wish to see the same power that has worked for you turn suddenly and irrevocably against you.
Don't you threaten me, Hilltop. Compared to the piranhas I usually swim with, you are one tiny, tiny minnow. You have a simple choice. This time tomorrow, the world knows I'm going to be Mrs. Aldous Hilltop, or this time, the day after tomorrow, I announce my intention to write one of those nasty little tell-all autobiographies. Got it?
Very well, Rhonda. You defeat me. But if you are indeed to be the mistress of this house, I suppose I should show you a little something I've constructed. In the basement.
Oh. But I'd still like to know. I'd like to know what's going to happen to my baby.
You understood that this was not part of the deal, miss.
I know, but what could it hurt?
It could hurt more than you know. This is a top secret project. We explained that. All you need to know is that your daughter will be helping to protect the nation from her enemies.
But she'll be okay? You promise me?
Well, it seems to me that's something you should have considered before you were foolish enough to get pregnant. But yes, very well. If it concerns you so much, she'll be well taken care of. She'll be just fine. Damn, this one's gone already. The only possible solution as I see it is to obtain the subjects from younger mothers, not more than 14 to 15 years of age as an optimum. Not too much of a problem, Georgie. It's been most successful limiting the spread of sex education and family planning. The teenage population will continue to supply us with raw material.
If you'd let us use Negroes, we'd have an even bigger supply. You know they breed like rabbits anyway. Whoa, Next Man is canceled. Holy shit, can you believe they talk like this once upon a time? John Byrne, you're done. I'm just kidding. Shouldn't bother anyone. Villains talk like villains, by the way. Let that be known. They're not supposed to say nice things. All right, continuing on.
I'm well aware of that. I'm also well aware that if we are successful, we will create the most devastating weapon this world has ever known. I'm not about to let something like that get into the control of a bunch of monkeys.
Whoa! Sorry, again, bad guys say bad things. We recognize, right? Bad guys saying bad. Okay. Weapon? What are you talking about? We're not creating weapons here. This is about science, about bettering mankind.
Precisely. And what better way to accomplish that than through the creation of a race of pure white American supermen?
No. Aldous, I have to put my foot down on this one. I can't allow you to pervert my work like that.
Your work? Jorgie, let's be real for a moment, shall we? This project would not even exist had Sathanas not handed you the data. And had I not convinced Jack Kennedy to provide the funding. Why, the education...
Sorry, God, these hyphens. This is a shitty lettering. I hate hyphens.
Why, the educational grid which Sathanas created is specifically designed to instill in our young subjects the proper military attitudes. No, I won't allow it. There's nothing for you to allow or disallow, Jorgie. It's a done deed. Our next men will be the finest, most dedicated, most lethal soldiers of liberty. You goddamn son of a bitch, you lied to me. Every step of the way you lied. And you, on the other hand, have been a sterling paragon of truth and virtue. Is that it, Jorgie? The lies I've told were necessary to get this project off the ground, and none of them were told to you. I've always been straight with you, Al. I can't believe you'd betray me like this. That's quite enough of that, Jorgie. What I have done for. I don't want to hear any more of this, Hilltop. I'm finished with this project, as of now. I may not be able to undo the damage you've done, but I can damn well make sure a proper balance is maintained in the world. What the hell are you talking about, Jorgensen? You're a big, smart politician, Hilltop. You figure it out. Slam.
Shouldn't make threats to bad people. That's always a mistake I see, like in movies and shows and stuff, and now in comics, like people are like threatening the bad guy. If you're gonna do something, pretend you're on his side. Pretend I'm cool with whatever you're doing, and plot. don't just tell him
I'm gonna stop you somehow.
All right, I gotta take you down to the basement again. An automobile accident. A little too convenient, wouldn't you say?
Very, since I had nothing to do with it.
Maybe Hillary Clinton was around at this time, so maybe she had something to do with it. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry. It would appear that the luck Jorgie always credited me with worked very much against him in this instance.
The article says the body was burned beyond recognition. Very nasty.
Yes, but what do you have to tell me, Bremer? Have you proceeded with Jorgensen's last idea?
Yes, the most recent accumulation of subjects are all from mothers who were no more than 15. It looks at present as if Jorgensen was on the money there. We triggered 8 subjects a week ago. And as of this morning, 3 of them are still alive. Not that their survival this long was necessarily guarantees that they'll be with us in a month, but it's easily the most promising turn this project has taken since I joined it.
Good. Anything else?
Well, one small point of interest. Did Jorgensen get around to telling you about the feedback we discovered in the educational net?
Feedback?
Yes. Curious anomaly. If I didn't know any better, I'd almost swear our young subjects were somehow talking to each other.
What? That's not part of the programming.
No, it isn't. But it's not all that surprising according to the computer boys. To save time, the educational network is linked through all the containment pods simultaneously. In order to monitor the flow, as it were, the system is built on a kind of, I don't know, call it alternating current? What goes in also comes out, so the data implant can be checked and fine-tuned. And it seems like the subjects who are old enough to talk are doing so. They're interacting. And it may be more than just talk.
Explain.
Well, Capshaw, our main computer genius, thinks it's within the realm of possibilities that their brains may be processing the data in such a way as to produce a kind of imaginary reality, a whole world for them to live and move in.
And this would be affecting their training how?
Not at all. It's more that their brains need some kind of solid base for that training to respond to, so they've created one.
I see. And you knew this would happen?
It seemed likely. The educational network I designed is feeding them much more than the militaristic data you desired. I am also filling their mind with science, art, philosophy. You will find them quite well-rounded when they finally emerge.
And just when will that be? You seem to have an amazing way of predicting the future, Sathanis. You enabled me to time out most of the sensitive operations around Jack Kennedy's assassination, as if you knew the exact hour it was going to happen. But we've been at this project now for over 10 years, and not one of these subjects has survived long enough to come out of containment.
Patience, Aldous. Patience. Success will come, not for more than 20 years, but in the end, everything you dream will come to you. You will be president of these United States, and everything you think of as the unknown and unknowable future will have unfolded as the incontrovertible history I know it to be.
Dum, dum, dum. That's a lot of exposition in that issue, but it served well because you got the introduction story where the X-Men escaped from the facility, and you start getting hints of what's going on. And then this issue kind of serves to just spell it all out. Let's get it all out of the way. Let's explain how it all works. And you can see here the description on the next. Oh, that's the next issue, 31. Why is 31 next? That's not where it's supposed to be. But, so that is the end of issue 6. Let's see if I can get out of this full screen. Get out of here. How do you stop this crazy thing, Jane? All right. So let's see. Mark says, I watched Star Trek First Contact this evening. Better movie than I remember. Lots of fan service. That's funny. I was just having a conversation about fan service with my buddy tonight. How much I don't like it. That's one of the things I didn't like about First Contact, to be honest. I do think it is a decent movie. I just wish it didn't have the fan service. I don't think it needed it. I thought the fan service got in the way, and I think some of the changes were cheesy, like replacing the Spock and Kirk role. That didn't sit right with me. But overall, I did think it was a good movie. I do like all of the J.J. Abrams Star Treks. As much as they're not like Star Trek, you just got to go in and say this is a complete reimagining. But let's see. Ronnie says fudge style tastes more like fudge, and dense cake style tastes more cakey and heavy. But cake's not heavy. I don't know. I've always had like the same kind of brownies, so although I have had like a cakey brownie, then that doesn't feel like a thick cake. It doesn't feel like a brownie. Those are usually ones like you get like the Betty Crocker chintzy mix. I like that thick, heavy brownie. Let's see. Talking more baking. Ronnie says another good establishing shot. Lord talks about the climate in the Middle East is pretty consistent throughout the region, with only 2 seasons, winter and summer, which are jokingly referred to as hot and hotter. Like, yeah, that's what I've heard. He says. Let's see. Melissa says, looks like a cross between Terminator, robot, skeleton, and alien. Yeah, that would probably make sense if you consider the time frame this movie or this comic came out. It was in the very early 90s. I want to say 91. It's right around there. 90, 91, 92, somewhere around there. And at the time, Aliens and Terminator was like one of the biggest, hottest properties around. And Dark Horse was also doing Terminator comics and Alien comics. It was a big thing. So those films had heavy influence on sci-fi going forward. Let's see. Weird mustache on Jorgie. Either bandages or coloring misfire. It's like a bicolor like part of it. I think it's part of it's supposed to be going gray or white. Let's see. The doc's wife is old enough to be his daughter. Yeah, that is true. I do. You know what's refreshing about this comic is that it's not afraid to talk about subjects that exist, like teenage pregnancy, right? Like racism. Like in today's comic world, we couldn't have these things because it would have to be too sterilized. And look, it's not that I want my comics being racist and stuff, but like I was saying earlier, bad guys say bad things. Like I don't think we should always be so offended by things that we can't have them in fictional stories. The book is in no way justifying or glorifying racism. But it's like censoring Huck Finn, right? Because Huck Finn has the N-word. But the book itself is not a racist book. It was just written in a time where that was just the norm of the world. That's how people talked. It was reflective of that time. It wasn't because Mark Twain himself. In fact, it's the book is actually very. If you read the book, it's actually very. I don't want to. It's not like I'm gonna say it's pro-black, but I mean it's very much an enlightened viewpoint. You can tell Mark Twain doesn't harbor, these deep-seated prejudice and hatred. It's a very respectful book, I thought. Let's see. Boom. Dominic says, I really love how each panel is being paid out for the eye to follow where the storytelling is leading them. You notice that? That's a good comment. Yeah, this is called storytelling. In reference to sequential art, the storytelling is that the ability to tell the story through the visuals. Obviously, in comics and graphic novels, we also have word balloons and narration bubbles and things. But the storytelling is the actual visual part. And it's a very much I don't want to say it's a lost art, but it's a rare art. Many modern comic illustrators do not understand it. And this has been the case even going back to in the case of my favorite era in the 90s when Image formed, right? It was formed off of 7 big time artists. And they would get a lot of criticism because it was like they're pinup artists. That's, even like the artists that came after them, like guys we love today, like J. Scott Campbell, right? They were all critiqued and being like, oh, they're just pinup artists. They're not actual true comic artists, because comic art, as you're seeing here with Byrne, is more than just illustration. It's the ability to tell the story, know how to lead the eye, know how to frame a shot, know what the audience should be watching, and there's so much more to it. Drawing a splash page that looks beautiful, that's valuable. You want to be able to do that, but a lot of those image guys, that's all they could really do. So yeah, John Byrne is a master. We keep crediting him. Let's see. Ronnie says, "Wow, that guy is seriously racist. Like, what the right is accused of racist." Yeah, he's bad. Let's see. So Satan made Joe Biden president, just like Hilltop in X-Men. Oh my God, is Joe Biden working for Sathanas? Holy shit, that'd be a revelation. Melissa says she hates Abrams' Star Trek, and she also hates Discovery and Picard too. Well, Picard sucks balls. Holy cow, man. I almost had a seizure at the end of that. That was one of the worst endings to a series show ever. It was a joke. But Discovery is way underrated. Way underrated. Let's see. RDV's made it into the house. It says new Star Treks are better. Not always. Like I said, Discovery is pretty good. Discovery is my third favorite Star Trek ever. It's the original series, Next Gen, and then Discovery. Discovery could be number one if it didn't have some of the progressive bullshit in there that they need to throw around. It's like, okay, I get it. The doctor's gay. I get it. Okay, I get it. He's having a relationship with the engineer. I get it. Okay, I get it. They brush their teeth together. I get it. Okay, can we get on the Star Trek now? Thank you. That sort of stuff. Let's see. RDV says, when you're poor and you can't afford brownies, you make ramen noodles. Wait, what? When I can't afford brownies, I'm not like ramen noodles. You can make brownies pretty cheap. Brownie mix is not expensive. Let's see. Of course, it may not be the great brownies, but who knows? Computer Robot says, bye guys. I'm going to sleep. And when I wake up, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my birthday. Wait a second. If you wake up, it's not going to be your birthday anymore. If you want to enjoy your birthday, you need to stay here and enjoy some spectacular Spider-Man, because it's going to be spectacular. Eric says, no, all the past work should have had the foresight to have 2020 sensibilities. Be better, old books. You tell him, Eric. Oh, man. John Byrne is so canceled. But you know who's not canceled? Our boy Chip Zdarsky. Because Chip is a raging progressive. And he would never stoop so low to have a bad guy say something racist. I don't even know. Well, I'm going to get lost in the weeds. Let's get on with the show. This is Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man, written by Chip Zdarsky. Somehow, once upon a time, Marvel was able to get Adam Kubert to write a second-tier Spider-Man book. To illustrate a second-tier Spider-Man book. Don't understand how that happened. Nowadays, you can't even get a top-tier artist on the primary book. Yes, that was a dig at the artist I'm drawing a blank on. What was his name? The guy that did Invincible. Man, one of the most overrated artists. Anyways, that joke fell flat. Let's get on with the book of falling flat jokes. All right. You so much as move, Spider-Man, and I'll blow your friends to kingdom come. I've got what I came for. Hoffney Mason, now you're going to let me fly out of here, and maybe I'll let you live. He won't. Well, that's a pretty cool establishing shot right there. Really cool establishing shot. I like, you see the villainous face, and he's got the button. You see the sinister look on it, in his eyes. But then you see the reflection on the helmet of what he's looking at. It's a very clever way to establish a shot. I also like the attention to detail in the background. You're seeing some of the cool machinery. the tech that Adam's good at drawing. Well done, Adam. Well done. You even think about it. Pathetic. As soon as Vulture gets clear, he'll detonate these bombs. Even if we get free, they'll take down the building and anyone in it. Have to... Flip... No. Can't get a clear shot on Vulture now. Just hope Teresa gets away while I smother as many of these with high density webbing. Until my spider sense kicks in and Come on, Spidey. No time. Flight risk. Kathoom. Peter. Oh, God, Peter. This isn't good. Uatu, come on, wake up. I can't. Oh, God, what's the plan, Teresa? I'm getting some significant wind drag, Mr. Mason. You certainly don't have your brother's physique. Is there something else? Ah, quite the brave little chick. Uatu! Let's see if she's ready to leave the nest. Another cool shot. Tinkerer warned me about you. Some winged novice. But it looks like your wings don't work too well now. Hard to argue with that. Deep breath. Crumble. Uatu, get up. I can't. Run. Raccoon. Spidey? This isn't happening. Spidey! Can you hear me, Spidey? Please be okay. Mason, snap out of it. My flight suit is broken. How do you make a net with a web shooter? Uatu, you okay? Spidey, you're gonna be alright. Just stand back. Holy. Teresa. The web shooters are a prototype. They only fire basic web lines. But let me see what's wrong with your suit. Hurry! No! That should do it. Quickest repair ever. All right. Now let's check on... Whoosh. Teresa, oh my God. I thought... Hey, yeah. That was a little too close for my liking. Is Uatu? He's good. Where's... Lucky. But the Vulture's here now to scavenge the bones, you... What? You piece of... garbage. Chow. Ugh. That's it, Vulture. You're never endangering anyone ever again. I know that look. Which means this won't end well for me. The destroyed lab will have to be enough for Tinkerer. Not a chance, you. You dolt. New tricks, remember? Editor's note. You remember, and you got great eye for savings if you picked up the free comic book day issue, says Chip. So long, web crawler. The Tinkerer. Phineas.
My brother is behind this ruthless attack. That goes beyond just tinkering. He's clearly losing his mind attacking me like this.
We need to regroup. If we set you up in a temporary lab, could you fix my guns? Maybe give us a way to take the Tinkerer down?
It will take me time to get accustomed to new environs, but yes,
No. I'm through endangering others. You're going into hiding, both of you. But I can't stand by while people are in danger. You're in danger. You're wanted by the FBI and evil spies, and now probably the Tinkerer. And he's leveled up, and in between kidnapping and bombing, he's clearly planning on something big. We need to ship you to Abu Dhabi at this point. Mason here, we need to just hide from his... Jesus. Mason here, we need to just hide from his brother. Somewhere. Safe. Quiet. Pretty woman. Stop a while. Pretty woman. Talk a while. Aunt May. Peter? Is this the gentleman you were telling me about? Yes. This is, Ben.
A pleasure, Miss Jameson. Thank you for letting me stay here.
Oh, it's no trouble, Ben. The company would be nice. It's not like I have many visitors lately. I'm sorry. I've just been busy. Pardon me while I check the guest's bedroom. You're number one in my heart, Aunt May.
Ben?
It's the first thing I thought of and the worst thing as well.
So, Spider-Man works for you?
Editor's note. It's true. Seems like some sort of weird tax loophole to be honest. But check out Amazing Spider-Man for more, says Chip. Yeah, he's basically my bodyguard. My aunt means everything to me. If you suspect even a hint of danger, call me or Spidey.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. I will endeavor to be an exemplary house guest.
Everything's in order, Peter. Would you like to stay for dinner? I wish I could. I got a jet. Talk to you soon, Aunt May. Check in when you can, Ben. Best bet at a lead, Mr. Jameson. Jonah. I'll check in after. Talk soon. Here it goes. Knock, knock, knock. Look, I don't want... Betty? Hey, Flash. What? How did you find me? I'm an investigative reporter. I investigated, and it turns out the Army still needs a current address for veterans.
I didn't expect to see you, or anyone, really.
Oh, Flash. What's happened to you?
The thing that made me Venom. It's gone.
Editor's note. Venom 150. Sorry if I spoiled it for you. Doubly sorry if I'm spoiling that he was Venom in the first place. Chip.
I guess I just got used to being special.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. But you've always been special. You know that, right?
Oh, please. Do not give me the "your specialness was inside you all along" speech, Betts. I beg of you.
I'm not.
I was a superhero who could throw cars and fight in space. I kind of miss it, okay?
That's kind of why I'm here. When you were superheroing, did you know of anyone who could, give you superpowers? Like, high-tech solutions?
What? Why?
Jonah Jameson and I are working on a story. An international agency has been stealing technical information on supervillains and superheroes in order to disable them, and we're trying to figure out where they got it. Do you know of anyone in the superpower community who would have that kind of information? Anyone who works with them on their tech?
Well, I've heard rumors of a guy who helps some heroes named the Mason, but the one who's been at it the longest seems to sell tech to villains. His name's the Tinkerer. I could ask around, see if I can get an address for you.
Oh, Flash, that would be perfect. Thanks so much.
Just, if the trail leads you to the Mason, at some point, just promise you'll put in a good word for me, okay?
You can't stay here. I'm not leaving your side, Peter. I'll give you 3 good reasons why you will. Click.
Spider-Man's involvement with the fugitive Teresa Duran. Will charges finally be laid against the masked vigilante?
We now go to 1. You can't hide in New York City. You've been spotted here. 2. You're now linked to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is linked to Peter Parker. So soon, the feds or S.H.I.E.L.D. or whoever will be coming here. And 3. I'm your older brother and you'll listen to me. Also, I met a nice girl and I can't bring her to Fugitive Central to watch Netflix. Har har. What we need is a plan to be proactive. We should take the fight to the Grey Blade, expose what they had planned. Oh, sure. Just have to find the secret spies of the secret spy organization. Easy peasy. Knock, knock, knock.
Parker?
Oh, why is he here now? Hide in the bedroom till I get rid of him. Wait, who?
I know you're in there. Don't make me kick this door.
That was Jonah. I hate when you don't know who the voice is. Jonah, calm down. What are you?
I've got no time for necessities, Parker.
Take 2.
I've got no time for niceties, Parker. I've got a job to do, and by God, I'm going to do it. So this is how you live, eh? I assume there'd be more takeout boxes as furniture.
Jonah, I'm very busy. What do you want?
You don't know busy. I'm cracking a story, Parker. A big one. You can be part of that, or you can just sit here in your apartment alone, filled with regret.
Perfect. Regret is my motto. Bye, JJ.
What? Wait. Parker. Son, I know we've had our differences, but I need your help. I need to talk to Spider-Man.
Wait, what? Why on earth would Spider-Man want to talk to you? You're running a blog dedicating to slagging him.
I need to interview him. It's important. It's about the woman he was with. The one with the stolen files. I'm sure you don't watch the news, but your bodyguard has been helping a known fugitive.
Go on.
I can't go into it just yet, but if you agree to get Spider-Man to agree to meet me, I'll tell him what I know. Come on, Parker. You owe me, and I need this.
Okay, but you need to stop your blog.
But blogging is my life.
Or at the very least, swear to not talk about Spider-Man for 1 year.
What? That's preposterous. Fine, but that masked menace has to agree to a full interview. Nothing off the table.
Oh, I'll run it by him. I have a feeling he'll go for it, though.
Perfect. You talk to that helpful masked man, and I'll tell you when and where to meet.
Yeah. What was that? That was me being proactive, I think. Mr. Mintz? The Grey Blade. Yes, Agent Charles? Just got off the phone with the FBI. They're still following up on some leads on this Miss Durand. Disagree with your insistence on deadly force, though. Doesn't matter. We have enough agents on the inside of the FBI and the police and the CIA that any contact made with Miss Duran will be final. The Gray Blade needs to stick to the shadows. It was our mandate from S.H.I.E.L.D., and we will stick to it, even if they aren't on board with our operation. But we need her, sir. The information. All we need is her body. All we need is her body, Agent Dietz. The information is in her blood. We've been tasked with doing the job S.H.I.E.L.D. could never do. Protecting the world at any cost, devoid of the oversight and optics that our parent organization receives. Arranging the murder of one woman who absconded with all of our plans to keep the superpowered community in check. I have no problem with that. But first, we need to find her. So far, our biggest lead is her association with Spider-Man, which means we need to find him to get her. And who is Spider-Man associated with? His employer. An employer who may be endorsing his actions. So our next step is to arrest Peter Parker. Oh, is this thing still going? How many issues are in this? No, I don't want that. Oh, there might be another. We might do the 7th episode after all. Let's view this in the store. Let's see. It's 1 through 6 and material from the free comic book day Secret Empire #1. Ooh. So that's what that must be. I don't know which was which. But anyways, that's enough of that. I'll figure that out later. Or if you guys know, you can fill me in the chat. Dun, dun, dun. Where was I on the chat? RDV is here with his ramen. Says, read Tom King to me. We need Tom King on Spider-Man. Chris Samney. Wow, way too much negative space in that illustration, which got filled up with a lot of trade dress. RDV says, no such thing as negative space, says the non-artist. I can't really I don't know about the panel comments because I don't know when those occurred. RDV says, and Ash wonders why I skip his comic streams. I don't know why. Because I suck? What are you trying to tell me? I don't know why you skip my comic streams. I guess I can infer that I suck. And it says, I secretly read Tom King when Ash is streaming. That's terrible. Eric says, I'm heading to sleep. Making videos really wears me out. Bastard. I watched your video, by the way, Eric, all the way through. Let's see. Ronnie says, good night, Eric. Let's see. Since when does Vulture not wear socks or shoes? I don't know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Let's see. Gets worse in Spencer's run. Shockingly, Tom Taylor had a decent friendly neighborhood Spider-Man run in 2018. I don't believe it for a second. Says it's worth reading. I definitely don't believe that. Wow, is that Flash? Yes, Flash Thompson, not the Flash. Too bad Marvel killed him off again. No one stays dead at Marvel. He'll come back as some super duper guy. Let's see. Spider-Man is like crack cocaine to Jameson. Yeah, this whole turning Jameson into a blogger thing was kind of silly to me. I think that was Marvel's way of like, oh, newspapers are going away. We got to be ahead of the times, but newspapers really still here, especially in New York. So, yeah, That was a bad mistake. Let's see. I remember when this is when I popped my head into a sea of Spider-Man was back to being good. Let's just say I laughed and said, "No money for you, Marvel." This book is better than most of the shit you read, though, RDV, to be fair. And this issue was by far the best of the 6 issues we read. So Eric was right. Like, oh, that's why Eric left. Because he knew we were going to make fun of him. Because he's the one that said it got better with issue 5. I guess it's technically true, it did get better. But he said it got good with issue 5. Never really got good. It got less sucky. That last issue, you could start seeing, like, yeah, it's pretty good. Like, over 6 issues, you can see the progression of Zdarsky as a writer. Melissa says, the comic that ruined Jameson, I personally prefer him hating Spider-Man. Well, he still does hate Spider-Man. Then I didn't check out any Spider-Man comics until 2019. So you decided to come back and read Spencer's run. You're like, I don't like when Spider-Man's bad, so I'm going to go away and then read Spencer Spider-Man. How'd that work out for you? Oh, man. So, that's the end of comments. I can't talk because I've been drinking one single beer. Actually, not even a single beer. It's like half a beer. It's all my antics. But at least the dog settled down. I don't know how, was that really loud when she barked on the mic? I have headphones on, so it was like really loud in my ear. I just don't know how it came across to you guys. Melissa says, Spider-Man revealing his identity to Jameson and them becoming friends ruined the whole Jameson hates Spider-Man and costume heroes. Oh, I didn't even know that happened. So, yeah, that does sound like kind of a dumb idea. Melissa says, bye, guys. We are going to be wrapping up here. There's not very much going on in the comments. It is getting close to midnight, which is when my goal to end the stream is, midnight Pacific time. Hopefully you got to enjoy some comics, some good comics. Well, these weren't really that. Well, the X-Men was good. I really enjoyed the X-Men. I haven't read these X-Men comics since they came out. I read the series originally. I collected them. And then they've just sat in comic book boxes. So I've legitimately don't remember these stories at all. I mean, I just remember sort of the characters and the existence. I remember like Sathanas being a thing. But I don't remember the plots. I don't know where this is going. So it's kind of fun to go back and read them again. I might just end up reading the whole thing, and for myself. I hope you guys liked them. It's really kind of cool to go back and revisit those old books. RDV says, good night. I'm off to bed to read bad DC books. Why are you going to read bad DC books? Read good DC books. You should read Hawkman, RDV. It's only 29 issues. It's really good. X-Men trumps the Spider-Man run, both writing, art, hands down. Yeah, I'd say John Byrne is a better artist, but Adam Kubert is... I like his style. I like looking at his art. So, I'm not going to knock. In modern comics, Adam Kubert is... He's top tier. I'm not going to knock him. But it's hard. I mean, John Byrne's a legend, so what are you going to say? I don't think the art is bad in either of these books. The writing, obviously, Chip is having some issues, but he does get better. And as much as I think John Byrne is a pretty good writer, he's a really strong writer. He's never written anything as good as Zdarsky has. Zdarsky at his best with Spider-Man Life Story. I mean, that's legit amazing. It's so I was thinking about reading Life Story on the channel here at some point. My hesitation is, I think if I read it to you guys, it won't come across as great as if you just read it to yourself. And it's a book that I like highly promote and say, oh, this is so amazing. Then I'd read it and screw it all up. And you're like, oh, that wasn't that good, Ash. And I'm like, oh, I ruined the experience. So I don't really want to do that. But I do also want to share it because I like it. Anyways, that's all I have to say tonight. Everyone's going to bed. Thank you guys for joining me, reading comics, sharing stuff in chat. I will not be doing an episode on Sunday. I'm just going to be going to Tuesdays and Thursdays for the time being. Some people have expressed their dismay, and for those of you who are sad that I'm not doing a Sunday show, I thank you for telling me. It makes me feel good that you are gonna miss it. It makes what I do feel worthwhile. That someone wants to see it, but the viewer ratings just on Sundays are terrible. And so not only does it make it harder to do the work because I know people aren't watching, but also if I'm reading a comic book series that's like a bunch of comics and then if people don't show up on Sunday, they miss the story. So I don't want that to happen. So if I do something on Sundays, again, more likely I'll do something separate. So, that's different. So people don't have to miss out the books that can't make it on Sundays. Let's see. Adam Cooper does good in the panels where you can tell he put the effort in. Others you can tell are just rushed because of deadlines. All of Burns' panels are at least good, if not great. Well, I mean, he's a better visual storyteller. I don't know, though. I think Adam put in more detail than Byrne in these books. So, I don't know. I mean, Adam's a formerly, Joe Kubert school of comics. He's not like a legend himself, but I mean, he's formally educated. I mean, he is an expert comic illustrator. But agree to disagree, I guess, as how that goes. I hate ending these streams. I want to just blabber on all night long, but you got to end. Again, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it. Leave comments, likes, dislikes, whatever you feel. I do like to hear back from everyone. It helps make me feel like I'm worthwhile. Hopefully you're enjoying the comic books. Feedback, really, honestly, feedback, good or bad, really helps. I like to know when I'm not doing something right so I can stop doing it. And I like to know if there's something you like so that I can be like, oh, it is worthwhile. So if you liked any of these books, if you, whatever, like that helps. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to go read some comics also. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Same Ash time, same Ash channel. Good night.